Malcolm or Angel, this is episode 2 of season 5. Very excited to see what on earth is going to be happening next after the premiere, with Spike showing up at the end. What the hell's going on with that? No clue, but I'm excited for it because more Spike, and Spike and Angel are going to be like bickering little brothers, I imagine. Well, I hope anyway. I'll be disappointed if not, but it's kind of everything I've ever needed. So I'm looking forward to seeing where the hell this is going and what Spike's addition to the show is going to do. And yeah, a really strong start to the season, I thought, with the first one. Love the Wolfman Heart direction, as I've gone on and on about for the past couple of episodes of Angel anyway. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what's going to be happening next. So let's just dive right into the next one. Previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
One of the worst recorded, second only to me.
Oh boy.
But you're dead.
I mean,
well, yeah,
he was dead even before he was dead. Oh. Oh, you're in the desk, my friend.
Bugger.
Okay, non-corporeal.
Buffy. Is she? She's okay. Where is she? Europe. Last I heard from her.
Oh.
I didn't see her.
That's just...
Okay, that's fair.
I must be in hell.
Good.
No, L.A. What the bloody hell is happening?
A good question, actually.
The Vampire Slayer, both men loved, both men lost. Oh, I could sell that to any studio in a heartbeat. I see death and bloom.
Couldn't say it's the execs for season 6 though, could you?
So what are you then? Scanner go?
How dare you?
Now I'm in charge. Are you now?
Weird.
Or have you ever been?
I'm detecting brainwave activity.
On Spike? That is weird.
Oh, maybe he's here for a reason. You know, some higher purpose or something he's destined for. Sent to us by the powers that be to help us, or...
Who gave them the bloody right to do that? Can't a man die in peace without some high almighty deciding it's not his time?
Not when you're popular, I'm afraid.
Oh.
But it was nice having him.
Spike has a soul? You never said. Did seem worth mentioning. Seems to be a lot of that. Casper.
Casper, the not-so-friendly ghost.
Angel, it's almost 3 o'clock. You have a meeting scheduled.
Right now, Harmony. Groxlov East. What?
Oh, hello. He's probably a client.
Somebody want to tell me how a Groxlar beast got past security? I don't have time for this.
That is 3 o'clock.
I was gonna stay focused.
That was your 3 o'clock.
That!
Yeah.
They eat babies.
Just their heads. You were supposed to open negotiations.
That's an important part of a baby.
What? I'm in a meeting, Spike. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't care.
We're
ruffling a lot of dangerous feathers, aren't they? What's this about you shutting down the Interment Acquisitions Division? Interment Acquisitions? Grave robbing. Listen, I know you fellows are in charge now, and you're doing a bang-up job. I'm with you 110%, but that department...
Evidently not.
...show revenue. You tell Mr. Ainsley that Wolfram and Hart is under new management and out of the grave robbing business. Now, run along and go argue your case. Go.
Rest in peace.
If a certain Slayer could see you now, get out of here, Spike. Gladly.
So petty.
Cruel enough. Could have been me, Wes. It was supposed to be me. You're not feeling guilty about Spike? Yeah, I mean, it's Wolfram and Hart's property. It's bound to this place, and since Spike's connected to it... Hey.
That's why he has to stick around.
Percy.
Well, he's back.
Okay, send him in.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I mean, that tie was awful, to be fair.
We should probably avoid an eye-for-an-eye escalation here. Not going for his eyes, Wes. I know what you should go for. It'll hurt him. Bad. I could drive you completely starkers. Right out of your gourd. Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to do a sodding thing about it.
And just appear in the next car.
Fancy a road trip?
Oh, well, that's horrible.
Man likes to play with dollies.
No, no, thank you. No.
Pretty people just seem to have. Oh, whoa. There's something you don't see every. Oh. Kill them. Very good, sir. Uh-oh. Looks like it's buckets for you. A spoon? That's just... Disappointing, really.
I know you can't help me.
That's not what they mean by spooning.
I spent 100 years trying to come to terms with infinite remorse. You spent 3 weeks moaning in a basement, and then you were fine. What's fair about that?
Are you getting blurry, or is it?
Oh. That's really interesting, actually. I like that.
Installing the average demon in the human body, I'm sure a lot of them would love to pass as people. You know, walk amongst the sheep.
Oh,
Believe me, friend.
Your body shows.
Who do you think you're?
Because you're dead. I was thinking, can he like control Angel because he's, you know, not alive.
Do it.
And what was that? Just call it an airstrike?
I just froze all your bank accounts, terminated your paper assets, and turned your books over to a very motivated contact we have at the IRS.
I'll sue you to hell.
Good luck. We're your lawyers.
True.
I can put your destiny back in your own flesh and bone hands. That's right. A corporeal body. You want to hurt Angel?
Oh dear.
You've come to the right ghost.
Whole time we were a thing, you treated me like day-old rat blood. Why should now be any diff? Just because you've gone all Patrick Swayze.
What do you want to know?
But I guess a leopard can't change his stripes.
Spots, you think. Leopards have spots.
Not able to touch anything, affect anything, unable to fight. Letting him cross over seems the most merciful thing. Yeah, mercy. You know, I'm all for it. Just tell me how we do it. It has to be taken and destroyed.
Angel, what do you think?
I think I want to sleep on it.
It's going to be pretty uncomfortable. Quite a big amulet, really. See, look at that.
Well, look at you.
Oh no.
Top of the world. Looking down on...
Creation. Oh.
I don't play for that side anymore. Well, haven't you heard?
Ah, nice.
Even if Mr. Death could do what he promised, I trust him about as much as you trust me.
What do you want from me?
Wants you to do it.
I'm glad it's you, though. Finally doing me in. Feels right. Being my grandsire and all.
Oh.
I think you missed.
Oh dear.
You're the linchpin of my plan. Our plan.
I did think, like, he's always been so petty when it came to Angel. I was like, is he really
Used by you. Yes, you are.
not, like,
But afterwards,
wanna
I'll
kill
give
him?
you your reward.
they're going to try and put Spike in his body.
Dead.
Because that'll make the shippers go wild to have Spike inside Angel.
Every one I deserve will be mine.
Oh, no, 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 no.
And maybe I'll have a go with that Fred. She looks like a goer. And she seems to really look up to you. Shut up.
He's out of line, but he's right. I do not enjoy that.
Spike. Spike. No.
Oh.
Your ghost can't control me for long. I hope
Ah.
I rule the
Good.
den. Oh, bollocks.
That was you hitting me?
The last bit, yeah. Haynes has been dead since he hit the table.
Jesus.
Oh, come on.
So Spike came to you with this plan, more or less, once he learned Ainsley used himself as a conduit for body transfers. Our trap fell into place. Bit reckless.
Oh.
You're the smart one, aren't you? The go-to gal who knows all about this ghost mumbo-jumbo. But you're the science queen. The hows, the what-ifs.
Just a queen in general. I mean,
Don't want to go. but it's like the
Don't
ground
say those words.
splitting open. It's getting wider, pulling me in.
Like a hellmouth.
Where it's trying to take me. And it's not the place heroes go. Not by a bloody long shot. It's the other one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a surprise.
Help me.
Aww. She will. Hopefully. Okay, I really enjoyed this episode, actually. Surprisingly fun, I guess, considering the necromancy and the torture and, you know, that kind of thing. Still, it felt fun, which is odd, but I think there's an interesting balance into how the episode handles that. Obviously, I think a lot of it does come from Angel and Spike just ripping into each other every chance they get, which I was absolutely here for, and I'm looking forward to getting a lot more of, hopefully, for the rest of the season. And yeah, a cool kind of exploration of why Spike is back, why he's kind of like non-corporeal, what's going on with that, setting up him sticking around for a bit. There's still kind of mysteries there, I think, like exactly, you know, did I just not understand what the amulet did, and it was always going to, you know, keep an essence of whoever used it in there or something? Like, why is Spike back? Why wasn't he just corporeal from the start? And what's going on with all of that? Maybe that's something that I'll find a bit more about when Fred kind of works into it, and that whole thing with him asking for her help to fix things at the end of the episode. Which again, the Fred and Spike kind of dynamic, I think, could be something really interesting. Shockingly, it gives me vibes of like Spike and Willow's relationship. When we kind of had a few interactions between those two, it kind of did feel a bit like that. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them explore that connection. Not romantically, I don't think. I hope not. But you never know. We'll have to wait and see. But I did really like that setup of him going to ask Fred for help. Out of everyone in Team Angel, he instantly got a sense like, oh, this is the person I need to go to for help, which is a move, quite frankly. And there were like some Spikeisms, I guess, surrounding Fred when he was saying to Angel, oh, you know, when I inhabit your body, you know, maybe I'll give Fred a go, she respects you, blah, blah, blah. Very like, no, come on. But I do think, you know, it was never his plan to actually take over Angel's body, so I think that was just more performative to really sell the antagonistic relationship those two needed to have to convince Hainsley that Spike was kind of on his side. And I did enjoy the back and forth with Spike, like, okay, which side are you actually on? What is your motive here? Because I think either way they could have sold it. I'm glad it ended up being the way it was, and that he was kind of fighting back. And there was still, you know, when he was like, oh, he was dead the moment he hit the table, I was just having some fun, so I want to get a few hits on you. That felt very true to Spike's character as well. So even, you know, when he has the chance to physically hurt Angel, he's going to take it for the limited time he has. So I really enjoyed that. That did feel very true to their dynamic. And yeah, it was, I don't know if I mentioned it when I watched the end of Buffy, but I always did think it was a shame Spike and Angel didn't interact in that last episode of Buffy. So the fact that we are getting some interaction there, and finally seeing them address that and still bicker about, you know, who did Buffy love more, who should be with Buffy, that's obviously, I think, a fight that will continue and probably never get any sort of resolution, which is fine. But I'm already loving where that's going to go. Hopefully they will kind of maybe find some sort of respect for each other in the long run. I think that could be a really cool journey. But yeah, with the whole like which side is Spike on thing, it felt like, well, he went through so much in the last season of Buffy. Really felt like, you know, he was fighting the good fight, he was very much on Buffy's and the good guys' side. And I think a lot of people already feel like, well, the fact that he is in Angel at all now kind of undoes his sacrifice at the end of Chosen. And I get that. And I think there is still a danger of that not being the case. I was actually kind of glad to see, like, oh, he's non-corporeal, because there still feels like, well, it's not just like he's back, now we move on. There's there's still a cost to it, it seems, and he's still fighting to not be sent to be damned to hell forever. And so there's still more to that, which I'm kind of glad of, because at least like it isn't just Spike's back, everything's perfect and fine again, let's see what happens now. There is still like a cost to him being in the show. Maybe they will fix it, maybe Spike's just going to be a ghost now, I don't know. They can probably sell it either way. But yeah, we had everything with, is he actually teaming up with this necromancer? Is he actually on Angel's side? And because he went through all those changes in Buffy, it would have felt like, like that feels a bit like backtracking and undoing his development and his sacrifice in season 7 even more, because now he's just kind of evilish again, despite having a soul. And then we obviously got the fight, it was actually Spike's plan all along, and him and Angel were kind of working together on this, so I was like, okay, that makes more sense. But I think because it was Angel, I probably would have bought Spike just being like, Angel sucks, I'm very petty about this, I am going to team up with the Necromancer guy. So I think, again, they could have sold it both ways, but I think it is better for his development that they didn't go down that route, that he was kind of just like, he was more than happy to let Angel just be taken over and killed. So I'm glad of that. It would have been very easy to just have, Spike be the antagonist again, but that would have undone, I think, a lot more, even more so than what they've already undone from Chosen. Personally, I don't mind it so far, but I did have my concerns at the end of the first one. Like, are they just gonna undo all his sacrifice and everything in Chosen? And maybe they still will, I don't know, but I think I'm a bit less worried after watching this one, because there has been a cost to it. There is some kind of change in Spike as well. Despite it being Angel is involved, he's still making some morally good choices, I would say. So I'm happy about that, and I'm really liking the relationships he's kind of having with everyone that they've highlighted so far. Hopefully we'll get a lot more of like him and Wesley interacting, and him and Gunn interacting as well. There could be some cool stuff there, but I love the bitter rivalry that him and Angel have. I like the brief bits we've gotten of him and Fred, and like coming to her for help and stuff. Him and Harmony being exactly the same as they were in those kind of few seasons where they were paired up. And Harmony, again, if anything's just kind of gone back a bit. I guess it's Harmony being all about Spike again briefly. I guess she was like, well, you've got a soul now, so things that maybe can be different, and Spike still didn't want to know, so hopefully she just sticks to her guns on that. But look, Harmony, it's not worth it, please move on. But it was fun to kind of revisit a bit of that and get Harmony being Harmony as ever. She is her true self, she's living her best life, and who are we to judge her for it? Well, morally good people, I suppose. But it's still a lot of fun to kind of revisit some of those bonds, and hopefully we'll get a lot more of Spike interacting with the rest of Team Angel. I think Spike and Lorne could be a duo for the ages, so I'm hoping we get like a storyline, or maybe multiple storylines when Spike and Lorne are paired up. I think that would be iconic. So keeping my fingers crossed for that. That would be incredible. But yeah, I liked Angel and Spike and the back and forth between them throughout the episode. Spike kind of being the angel and the devil on Angel's shoulders. Angel on Angel's shoulder. And yeah, it should be interesting to see where they go with it now. And is they going to get to a point where they actually get along quite well, or they're just going to find peace with each other and they're not like just ripping each other to shreds every single chance they get. I don't know what I'd want to happen, to be honest, because I think if it happened too quickly and they actually started getting along quite well, I probably miss the little quips between each other. But I don't know, I think they know how fun that relationship is and they wouldn't change it too much. I like seeing them take the piss out of each other, and there's so much history between them already anyway. Even this one, we kind of mentioned Angel, this is like grand sire or something. So I think they will probably try and honour that in whatever they do with that dynamic this season. So I'm excited for more of that. That was really great fun. And yeah, seeing Gunn has a bit more know-how about like demon lore and stuff as well. Just interesting to make him have so much knowledge about so many things. Huge contrast, obviously, where the character had been in the past, particularly last season as well. They kind of made a whole big deal about that. So to see what else Gunn is really knowledgeable about and what he can maybe still have knowledge input him in about. Did that make sense? That wasn't a sentence. Is it easy for them to just be like, well, next I want to know about this thing, and can they just put that in him as well? Or is it like a one and done thing, everything we can tell you now? It's like all in one go and then that's it? Or is there more that they can do? That would be interesting to explore. Could even be a case of you have like a limited capacity for what you can know about, so you might have to like swap things out. You're like, I want to know about necromancy, fine, but you don't have any room for a minute, so why don't you swap that out with knowledge on witches or something? That could be an interesting kind of way of not just making him super OP and he's able to like learn about everything and store that knowledge about everything, especially because then it would make a lot of like what Wesley and Fred know pointless, because Gunn could just know it all anyway. But I still like that direction for the character, and I'm hoping we get an episode really focused all about that fairly soon, instead of just him being there for like, exposition time. I'm going to save the date at the last second. I want a big story about that, and I'm sure we'll get time for that. So that was all cool. Harmony is just still harmony. And yeah, I enjoyed the dynamic with Spike and Fred. Where that's going to go should be quite something. The fact that, she will, I think, absolutely try her best to help Spike. And it's also, I suppose, the person who has that knowledge about, well, hopefully can help Spike, is the one who, out of everyone, knew next to nothing about him. Because like, even Gunn, I don't think, Spike and Gunn have never even met, but Gunn has obviously heard all about Spike and he was willing to just kill him as soon as he saw him there. So there's a lot with that, but the fact that Fred was like, who the hell is Spike? Makes that a very interesting thing, because she doesn't know who Spike was before. She can't necessarily judge him for that. So that has the potential to be a very different kind of dynamic, and I'm excited for that. Someone who can't like prejudge the man Spike was in the way that she couldn't prejudge the man Angel used to be, to an extent, because we actually saw like the proper unfiltered demon inside Angel, didn't we, in those 3 episodes that introduced Fred. So interesting stuff there, I guess. So yeah, I'm excited for more of that and more of Fred, because obvious reasons. So I liked that, and I thought a very interesting thing they did with Spike and Angel was like when they're having a bit of an argument about how Spike actively sought out his soul. And that was another thing I also thought, why maybe if they had made Spike just, I'm evil because it's Angel, it's because a lot of obviously the good he was doing in Buffy was because he wanted to do it for Buffy herself, and that was why he changed so much for Buffy. He got the soul for Buffy, but then by the end, his sacrifice was kind of to save everyone at the end of Chosen. So it would have felt a bit like, well, he was heading towards this direction anyway. It feels a bit weird that they've just kind of reverted him to, being solely focused on, being evil, or he's not seeing the bigger picture anymore. But the fact that, that wasn't the route they've taken, he has still kind of, he knows what morals are, he knows what fight he wants to be on now. That's all very well and good, so that was that as well. But just the debate between like Angel's soul and Spike's soul, how they got it, and I loved Angel's kind of anger and annoyance that you were moping in a basement for 3 weeks, then you were fine. This has like nearly killed me. This has tortured me for 100 years, getting my soul. I suppose the difference is that Angel didn't ask for his soul to be restored. Spike actively sought that out, so maybe that's kind of the key difference into how they responded to it. So it messed up Angel all the more for a longer period of time, because that's literally supposed to be the curse, is that he was suffering greatly for it. I really like that Angel actually seemed really pissed off about that, just being like, well, this isn't fair, is it? I've really found that an interesting idea and something I hadn't actually quite considered yet. So if they maybe delve into that a bit and how Angel's feeling about it, we've seen that's so much on his mind because we had that scene with him and Wesley earlier on, and he was like, well, that could have been me when he was going to be the one to actually wear the like necklacey thing, and then all this would have happened to him instead of Spike. So that kind of thing is clearly on his mind. Having Spike around, I think, is really going to make Angel examine his past self and his soul, what that all means, all the more so because this is a figure from his past as Angelus, and a vampire he is kind of also somewhat responsible for making in the first place, a key part of his history, both in the past and the present. Now he has a soul, and this said vampire also has a soul of his own now. I think it's just going to be a constant kind of comparison between the two. It's going to be a constant match of, well, who's the better soulless vampire, now who's the better souled vampire. There's always been that competitive edge with them. So I think that's going to be really interesting to maybe delve into. And I think Angel's like path to redemption is always on his mind, but I think having Spike like directly there all the time, literally haunting him, and judging everything he's doing at Wolfram and Hart, being like, well, you know you're not really in control of this place, don't you? I think that's going to be really cool to put the pressure on Angel, and he's constantly going to be examining himself and what he's doing it for. Is he doing any good? Is it even worth it to run Wolfram and Hart when you kind of sometimes have to let bad people get away with things, sometimes you don't, and having to Spike judge you for it all the time, despite everything he's also done, I think will be quite something for Angel's character. And I imagine that would be a torture in itself, to always in the back of your mind being like, well, this isn't enough, I'm still not redeemed, I'm still not doing enough. And, you know, at the end of season 1, when he got the Shanshu prophecy, and he was like, well, you know, vampire with the soul, this is my purpose, I can work towards maybe becoming human again, by fulfilling this prophecy, and then maybe if I'm human I can be with Buffy all the time, we can run off into the sunset. Meanwhile, Buffy's kind of also somewhat fallen for Spike, and they've kind of had a thing. Spike's also gotten a soul of his own, so he could also be in like the running for that prophecy, potentially. I'm sure that'll be something that they bring up at some point. Maybe they even have at some point in the past, I don't know. But yeah, suddenly everything he's fighting for, maybe he was fighting for something that Spike actually comes along at the last minute and fulfills anyway. So I think that's going to be kind of a lot for Angel to deal with. So that should be exciting to see if they even explore that. Maybe I've just chatted shit for like 5 minutes about this, it's not even something that they delve into. But just that one line got me thinking, him being so angry that Spike just, you know, got over a lot of this torture of having a soul in a matter of weeks when he's still suffering about it now. I thought that was a really interesting idea. So I liked that a lot, and hopefully it is something they delve into with the Angel and Spike kind of bond, because they have quite a bit in common, really, when you think about it, so that could be a cool thing for them, but we'll see what happens. And then I guess the only other thing, I don't know what the opinion is about Hainsley, the necromancer, in like general, in terms of like villains and whether or not you enjoy them. I really enjoyed Hainsley. I just thought the idea of him, you know, having a necromancer as a villain, it's not something they really do that often. And you'd think, you know, necromancers and stuff would be a really cool villain for Buffyverse shows and stuff, that they would do a lot more, like the undead and stuff, but they kind of really haven't. So I really enjoyed him. I thought the actor was really great. The effect of him like putting his hand right inside those people was so I liked the kind of gory elements to that, and the idea that he could control Angel because Angel's dead. It had occurred to me, and I was like, is that going to be a thing that they do? And then it was, and then everything with Spike's plan as well, to kind of possess him and allow Angel to kind of actually fight back against him. I thought that was very cleverly done. I enjoyed all of that, and him kind of being a catalyst for is Spike still going to be mean? Is he not? You know, what is his true intentions here? So I liked that. He not only just serviced like an interesting plot line of like, we have this client, we want to get rid of them, they're refusing to leave, what do we do about it? That was an interesting enough plot in itself that I enjoyed, and I liked the idea of him being a necromancer, and it was very creepy scenes when they first walked in, they had all the dead bodies there. Angel killed the butler with the spoon, that was quite something. But he was also very kind of interestingly placed to advance Spike's character arc as well, and say some interesting stuff about him and where he's at right now and what he could potentially be if him and Fred come up with a way of saving him. So lots of interesting stuff with that, and I actually really enjoyed Hainsley just as a villain. I thought he was one of the more memorable one-episode villains that I can kind of think of. That's certainly in like the last few seasons of either Buffy or Angel as the show. So yeah, I don't know if he's particularly popular among fans, but I really, really enjoyed him. I think it's just because the necromancer idea is quite fun and cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed the kind of... It felt like, obviously, Spike and everything with that was more of the main focus of the episode, but I did also enjoy him as like a one-off villain, and just having the Wolf and Heart thing just makes it a bit, you know, you can more easily bring evil people into it and not feel particularly forced. Like, well, you're definitely villain of the week, aren't you? Because it does tie into the fact that they are an evil law firm, they're going to be dealing with these people. And just them trying to get rid of a client, but he won't go. That's a cool idea. So I liked how they explored that. And then in the last episode, we also had like some of the staff members who weren't particularly pleased with, you know, how Angel was running things, trying to turn against him and everyone else. So already 2 episodes in, we've got some really cool concepts as obstacles for Angel and Co running Wolfram and Hart now. So hopefully they'll have some really other like cool things to explore with that. But really enjoyed everything with that. Really enjoyed the villain. Loved the stuff with Angel and Spike going on with that, and what that all could potentially mean going forward. Harmony is harmony. Fred is a cinnamon roll. Gun is gun, and they're doing some great stuff with him. Again, Wesley didn't have as much to do in this one like the premiere, but I'm sure his time is coming in a future episode. So very excited for that. Lorne as well. But just give me a Lorne and Spike episode. It's all I need. So yeah, keep my fingers crossed for that. But another really great episode. I had a lot of fun with this one, and enjoyed the villain a surprising amount. So happy with that. And yeah, look forward to seeing what's going to happen further down the line now that Spike seems to be here to stay for the long run, and what that could mean. Are we going to get like a proper big bad at some point? Is there going to be like an overarching story at some point? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But you know, normally that kind of thing does appear much later into the, you know, it's normally around like the episode 7 point, isn't it, that we really get into a big arc if they are going to do that. So we'll see. We got quite the arc last season, so I don't know if they're going to go down that path again with this one, or do something different, or I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, overall, another really great episode, and that brings us to the end of this first cycle with like Angel reactions, and I guess the joy of, you know, one of the only good things about having finished Buffy is that it's fairly easy to say what's coming next. I don't have to double check the watch order and stuff because it's just Angel, isn't it? So when we cycle back round, Angel episodes 3 and 4, easy. So, you know, nice to be able to keep up with what reactions are coming, without being like, is it Buffy or Angel next? I don't know, which ones are they? It's Angel, so sorted. And yeah, that's going to be everything for now. Until the next reaction, thanks for watching.